And we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Bookish Moment. My name is Sarah Burr.
And I am your co-host for today's Bookish Moment. My name is JC Kenny, and we are so excited to have a super awesome bestie come back to hang out with us again this afternoon. So, Sarah, I think it's time to get bookish.
Let's get bookish. And yes, as you said, JC, we have a very dear friend of our bookish enterprise here with us this afternoon. Nan Reinhardt is joining us to celebrate another fabulous release with her Weaver Sisters romance. We are going to be chatting today about Christmas in River's Edge. So we're definitely going to be getting into the season with our chat today. But Nan, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being here with you too and chatting about books, and this time Christmas. So fun.
Yes, and we're thrilled to have you here. And folks who are joining us this afternoon live on the show, we have Farmhouse Reader, Mizan, Mark, and DHB. Good afternoon, you guys. Season's greetings, and we're here for a fun time. Nan is always a fabulous guest to chat with, and she also brings such a wonderful giveaway. And every time, Nan, it always surprises me, your generosity and what you're able to share with readers. And today is no different. So, folks, we will be doing a giveaway at the end of the show. We'll be putting in that magic word, though, about halfway through, so stay tuned. Nan, you want to catch us up on what is happening in River's Edge?
Well, this is the last book in the Weaver Sister series. As you can see, it's backward, Christmas in River's Edge. This is Jenny Weaver's story, and it released October 23rd, and it's just been so much fun because everyone's been so excited to have another Weaver Sisters book and for it to be Christmas. Christmas in River's Edge is always so cool, and so it's gotten a pretty good response. And Jenny is home. She moved home from Florida after divorcing her high school sweetheart. She has an 8-year-old son, and also back in town, just by happenstance, is a guy who had a mad crush on Jenny when they were in high school, but didn't have a chance with her because she was going with the football hero. And but he's back and he's hot, and she's just opened her eyes and realized that maybe this might be somebody she could be interested in. So there's a lot going on in the book, a lot of dealing with being a single parent, a lot of dealing with having your ex trying to come back into your life, and a lot of getting to know an old friend. So I don't know. I love the story because I love Gabe. He's an archaeologist and a college history professor, and so he's kind of got a little Indiana Jones vibe going, which is, what's more fun than that?
I love Gabe as well. When you introduced him and you're describing his looks, I'm just like, oh man, this guy, he's really got it going on. And not to say that your other heroes that we've met along the way haven't had their moments and their charms, but there is something about Gabe that is just so sweet, and the way that he's home to kind of care for his mom, which is always a very heartwarming moment. And the way that he navigates Jenny's relationship with her ex-husband and her son, I think is a really, it's such an interesting dynamic to experience as a reader. Because for me, reading romances, I don't normally read romances that are about single parents, just because it's not something that I have ever really kind of come across in the romances that I've read. So getting to know Jenny and to see her struggles, but also how she's just trying to balance her life, and how Gabe kind of works his way into it, it was just so sweet and so heartwarming, because it just felt really realistic, considering that the background that they both have and what they're up against.
Thank you. the thing I wanted most to come through in Jenny and Gabe's relationship was that they talked to each other. They didn't play games. There wasn't any of this, if you're not going to do what I want you to do, I'm going to be mad at you. The scene where she gets upset with her ex-husband and he's kind of listening. Gabe's kind of listening in the background. And then he goes in and he tries to talk to her, and she just gets shitty with him and sends him away. And I thought, now, do I let them be apart for a while? And I thought, no, they both need to come back together right now and talk about this. So she comes to the door just as he's coming back up the sidewalk, because they both decide, no, we got to talk. And I really wanted that dynamic between the two of them, because she didn't have it in her marriage. And so that became something really important for her. And, as the book goes on, the ex-husband, you kind of hope, well, maybe he's going to be redeemed, but he's never going to be with her again. And that was also an important point to make, that he might want to be with her again, but that wasn't going to happen. And that he needed to be happy for her, that she found happiness, and then he was going to have to find his own. So anyway, it was a really interesting book to write, because I've been married to the same man for 50 years. And so I don't know from single parenthood or divorce. So I had to kind of draw on other people's experiences and what I've heard other people talk about to make this book happen. So I hope it came across as real, and
I thought it did. And the pain that you can feel, not only for Jenny, but also Tough, in a way, her ex-husband, because, he kind of comes in and you're just like, ugh, he's going to ruin everything. But then you learn to see that, like, he's got his demons, and he really wants to, like, be in his son's life. And showing the human side, I guess, of somebody who I would have just kind of written off as the bad guy. And I think that that's the way to approach a character, just because we all want to feel some sort of emotion, sympathy, empathy for these people that we're encountering in these stories.
We do. Yeah, we do. And I think in the end of the book, you do have some sympathy for Tough. It's got a long road to hoe, and who knows if we'll see him again. We might not. I don't know. But I think it worked.
And I think just to be fair, we have to remind everybody here that, Sarah and I do have the flexibility with someone who's a bad guy. We can either kill them or send them to jail. So, Nan, you deserve props for finding, the better angels and folks. So there is that.
Unfortunately, killing people off is not something I do. However, in this last book I just finished, somebody did die, but not at anyone else's hands. So just natural causes.
Yeah, we've heard that one again. Nan, one of the things I think is I'd like you to talk about is Gabe's profession. He's an archaeologist.
Yes.
And the reason I think that's a lot of fun is for those of our viewers who don't know much about Indiana geography, River's Edge is based on the real life Madison, Indiana, as Nan has told us in the past. And there is the Falls of the Ohio State Park right there on the Ohio River, which has a lot of incredible geography or history and all kinds of things in real life. So, Nan, could you kind of tell us a little bit about, your hero's, life? You said he's kind of an Indiana Jones kind of guy, and tell us a little bit about, what his day job is, kind of.
Well, Gabe is actually an adjunct professor at William and Mary. He teaches history there, colonial history, but his area of expertise as an archaeologist is colonial history. And so he goes all over the country. He's been all over the world, but he goes all over the country doing digs and things. And what brought him originally to River's Edge, as this book started, was not his mother's accident. That he happened upon. But he came because a friend of his who taught at the college in River's Edge, they discovered on a dig, a community, or at least what they think is a community of Shawnee Indians or Shawnee Native Americans, and colonial people living in the same like in the same community, living together. At least that's what the dig was showing him. And so his friend called him and said, you need to come and see this. And so that's what he came into town for. But he always stays with his mom when he's in town. And he got to his mom's house and an ambulance was there because she had fallen off a ladder while she was cleaning gutters and broke her leg in her arm. So that's how he ended up staying to help her, was because she was broken when he got there. So, but he does take, he takes Jenny out to the dig, and that's how Jenny discovers that she is a storyteller. She kind of knew that about herself, but they find a bracelet made out of hair, and she just in her head just writes this little story and tells Gabe the story.
May have had a little bit of technical difficulties on Nan's end.
Yes, Nan's going to keep us in suspense about what the story, what the Jenny's story was.
One thing that I have to share with our readers, when Gabe is introduced, we're meeting him at the hospital where his mother is currently being seen, and his sister runs in and is like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And he begins by telling his sister, "Well, I was at this dig and about all of these like amazing things that they have the potential to find." And she's like, "Gabe, like, I don't care about that. Like, let's get to it. Let's like focus on what's really important, and that's our mother." And I just thought that was such like a way to capture his personality, because as it's mentioned, and it's said in a very negative way, but I don't think it's a negative, the fact that he's a geek and he was a nerd in high school. And it was a great way to showcase. Hi, Nan. We're just we're chatting about how you first introduced Gabe by him telling his sister that why he's there, about the dig and how it's really exciting. And she's like, "Wait, no, like, I want to know if our mother's alive," in the ER, and how that was a really nice introduction to his character.
I'm so sorry, my internet went out. I have no idea why, but I'm back. So that was fun to bring his kind of nebbishness in. And that shows up a few times in the book, that he's, like when he talks to Jenny about trying to cook Thanksgiving dinner for his mom, and the turkey is still frozen, and he's bought, 2 potatoes. And so she ends up inviting him to her family's house for Thanksgiving. But, he thought, oh, Thanksgiving dinner, no prob, and had no clue what to do. So he was a fun character to write. He really was.
So we've chatted a little bit about the characters that we've got going on. I want to talk about Christmas, because it's the most wonderful time of the year. And writing Christmas in River's Edge, do you feel that it's a different writing experience for you than any other time of year? Or how do you find that the atmosphere of your writing changes based on the holiday that you're featuring?
I do love writing Christmas in River's Edge, because there are so many traditions that I was able to bring into the town. Their Christmas parade and the candlelight walk and lighting up the river walk. And there's so much going on in the town. Aidan Flaherty renovated the old showboat. And so every Christmas Eve afternoon, he has a pitch-in dinner on the showboat and does a show. And so there's just so much fun in the town. And so I just really love writing Christmas, but it is a little different because there's more of the town. You know what I mean? There's more going on because the whole town celebrates Christmas. So I do get to bring a little bit more of the town and more of the secondary characters into the Christmas stories than I do in the other stories. And that's kind of a treat. So,
I would imagine there's also a bit of a challenge to that too, though, because as we've talked, this is a community in a town and with characters that's expanded over time. And we've gotten to meet so many people and so many wonderful characters. How do you keep track of them all? I mean, at this point, you're what, at least 7 books in?
I'm 12 books in.
12. Okay.
10 out, one in production, one
Okay.
my editor, and 2 more to be written. So you know what? I don't know. I always tell people I've got this line of people in my head and they're all clamoring for a story. And I just have to say, stay in line. I'll get to you. So I don't know. I can't describe it except to say that. And this town is such a wonderful setting for all the stories in my head. My sister always teases me about, Nan's world. Isn't it a wonderful place? Well, yeah, it is, because it's a river and it can be anything I want it to be, which is fabulous. So I think that it really is. The people come to me because I want them in that setting, and I find a place for them. This doesn't sound very cogent at all, does it? But I know what I mean. I'm just not saying it well.
I mean, I feel like we can empathize a bit, because, with building our cozy towns,
Sure.
we're visiting with people over and over again. New characters are being introduced, and then you kind of have to throw back to them. If somebody popped up in book 1, like, they'll probably pop up, book 3, book 4 along the way. And just like keeping track of them, I think for me, like I just have a spreadsheet of characters and what they look like, and any distinctive descriptions that I've ever used for them, so that as I'm going through the series, I can be like, okay, like, Gavin has hazel eyes and a cowlick, or something along those lines.
Yes.
And I can make those connections.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a spreadsheet, one that has all the places in town. It's got like pages. One is all the places in town. One is my words, because I collect like a fiend. I've got a notebook I carry with me all the time. And if I hear an interesting or fun word, or I hear someone say something I think is kind of cool, I'll write it down and it'll turn up. And let's see, places and people and businesses and, all these things are on the spreadsheet. So it's my, my characters and places spreadsheet, and it gets bigger with every book, of course. But that's fun. And there have been times when I've made mistakes and put somebody with it someplace, or I put someplace where it's not supposed to be. But my betas are so great, because they'll go, hey, I thought Max was at the corner of, oh, dang, that's right.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful.
That
That's
is dedication.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Nan, not only do Sarah and I love you, but, our viewers love you. And I can't read kind of the entire quote because of something. Sarah, you want to share what our friend Vicki Browning commented to
yes.
commented to Nan?
We've got Vicki saying, the beauty of listening here is getting introduced to new books. I don't typically read romance, but I just added this to my Kindle. So Vicki, you're in for a treat.
Yes. Yeah.
I hope you have fun in River's Edge. Welcome to River's Edge.
Welcome. Yeah. And it's such and Nan, getting to talk to you about your other series and the other folks that you have featured in River's Edge as well. I'm looking at the time, and I want to make sure that I give our folks enough time to enter into the giveaway. So before I ask my question, Nan, would you like to tell everybody what your generous giveaway prize is for the day, and what the magic word is?
Okay, well, the giveaway is an ebook of one of the Christmas books that happen in River's Edge. So you get your choice of one Christmas ebook and a $10 Amazon gift card. So
nice. Wow.
I would love for someone to win that. And with the $10 Amazon gift card, obviously you can keep going with more ebooks.
Yes.
But anyway, and the magic word, is it magic word? Is that the word I need? Is Christmas, because we're all about the Christmas here today.
Perfect. Here we go. So folks, if you would like to enter into Nan's very generous giveaway, please go ahead and type the word Christmas into the chat box, and your response will be grabbed up in our magic number generator, and we will announce the winner at the end of the show. Nan, you mentioned that Christmas in River's Edge is the final act for the Weaver sisters.
Yes, it is.
Is this the final act for River's Edge? What's going on?
No. River's Edge has another series, another family. You met Eli Walker in Jazz Weaver's book, the first book in the Weaver sisters. He was the one that she was involved with, and he has a brother and 3 cousins. and they are the next series, the Walker family of River's Edge. The first book is Jack's, who is Eli's brother. And then the next book, which I just finished, was Joey's, and he's their cousin, and he's the landscape architect. And then we have two more, Annabelle and Cameron. And I just started Cameron's book yesterday. I have like 1,100 words written on Cameron's book. And so I'm having a great time with the Walkers. They own the construction company in town, and things are a little rough for them right now. So they're trying to get back on track. So we'll see if they can do it. And then there is talk, this hasn't actually happened yet, but I think there's a chance I may be doing another series after this, once again in River's Edge, and this one with the Dykeman family, who are the people that own the orchard in town. And two of them, a brother and a sister, just opened a cidery in town where they make ciders. Ooh. And Justin Dykeman's been in several books because he has the carriage and the horses that they were in this book. He was taking people around during the Christmas parade. So you'll recognize the people. So anyway, yeah, I get to stay in River's Edge, and I keep telling Jane Porter, bless her sweet, sweetheart, as long as you want to let me stay in River's Edge, I will be there, baby. I love it there. And so far, most people do too. So we're in,
That's wonderful.
That's great to hear.
The fact that you get to like expand upon this. So I guess kind of rewind a little bit, when the very first book that you wrote set in River's Edge, did you ever foresee yourself being here, getting ready to write yet another family and exploring their story and seeing what they have to offer?
I have to tell you the truth. I did not. When I wrote A Small Town Christmas, I was contracted to do that book, and with the idea that I would do some others. And so we did the 4 Irish brothers, and that each brother would get a story. And after that, I thought, great, this is wonderful. And I had a great time. And then they said, well, you want to try again? I'm like, sure. And then it's like, well, you want to try again? I'm like, sure. So it has been quite a ride, but it's just, I've had the time of my life doing it. I love writing in River's Edge. And as I said, I will stay there forever if they'll let me. We'll just see what happens. Although I keep wondering, are people going to be curious about why there are so many single people in this town? I'm sure that in a town the size of Madison, there's probably plenty of single people who need a story, right? So,
it's just like our little towns where all of a sudden everybody starts, turning up dead. That's okay.
How many people can die in a little town like in the Panhandle of Florida? Oh.
Exactly.
I think as long as depending on the population of your town, like every person has their story, every person has their death. So it's like,
yes,
of course you can. I think that as long as the stories are there and that desire is there, Nan, like, I think that that's so amazing. Because one of the things that I run into where when I am visiting a town, I'm like, okay, like I love being here, but I also like want to like explore other areas and see like other places and what I can do. What do you think it is about River's Edge that just has like filled your soul and given you everything that you need?
I think it's because it is an ideal that I've had since a child. And I think that it's satisfying that need for, I want to create this world. And however, I do think that reasonably, like in the second book, Meet Me in River's Edge, Joe leaves. Not everybody's going to stay. I mean, that's just not realistic. And so when I talked to my editor about having Joe leave, she said, I think if you can pull it off, sure, make it happen. So Joe's leaving. She's moving somewhere else. And I think that the reality is that not everybody's going to stay in the town as much as I love it. So some people are going to have to go. And in the Dykemans, the first story is going to be about Beth, who is in her early 40s and newly divorced, and she's going to go to Montana, and not to stay, but to visit. So, I can get people out of River's Edge. It's hard though, because it's such a wonderful place. Who would want to leave?
Who would want to leave?
Well, I tell you what, both Vicki Browning and Mizan both have chimed in and said they really like it having small towns with single people rather than having small towns where people keep dying. So
There
there
you
you
go.
go, man. You're on the right track.
Good. I'm so glad. Well, I'm having the time of my life. I really am. And as long as Julie says, sure, I'm going to keep writing there. So
Excellent. Well, as always, our bookish moments tend to fly by, especially when we're chatting with you, Nan. It goes by in a blink of an eye, but time flies when you're having fun. Can you let our viewers know if you are going to be at any virtual events, any in-person events that they can catch up with you, or where they should connect with you online?
well, if the viewers are in the Indianapolis area, I'm going to be in Noblesville on Saturday, signing books at the Guide to the Galaxy Library. It's on the second floor of the Nickel Plate Arts Building on 8th Street in Noblesville. I'll be there from 2 to 4, and that's always a treat. The Nickel Plate Arts Building is a beautiful building. It's an old historic house, and there's tons of art in there, as well as this library on the second floor where I'll be signing books. And then otherwise, I'm always at nanreinhardt.com, and on Twitter and Instagram, I'm Nan Reinhardt. I make myself very easy to find. Mostly for me, it's easy to remember. And so I love it when people come to visit. And every Sunday, I do my Sunday snippet. And that's just me talking about my writing and my life. And, it's probably TMI for most people, but there it is. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have author spotlights where I highlight other authors. And I love doing that. I love having guests on my blog because it's a chance for me to introduce people to writers that I love, and for writers to get a little, promo out of it. So it's a lot of fun having my author spotlights. So that's pretty much where I'm going to be, I think. Oh, there's a Thule Christmas party and the Thule Christmas the Thule Book Club Facebook page, which if you're not in the Thule Book Club, you absolutely should, because we have a ball there and there's always tons of fun giveaways. And that's on December 12th. I think I'll be there like at 12:30 right afternoon. So
Perfect.
and there'll be giveaways.
The Thule Book Club.
Right. The Thule Book Club Facebook page.
group. Okay.
Group.
Excellent.
But
So
it's
folks,
just search on Thule Book Club and it'll be right there for you. So
fabulous.
Yeah, and that's TULE. Just
Yes.
make sure that everybody knows.
Yes. We had so much fun on Saturday because 3 of us are Thule authors, me and JC and Kira Jacobs. And the 3 of us were just writing a line at the book signing. So it was a lot of fun to be the 3 Thule authors together. So.
Indeed. And I'm also, while Sarah preps for our drawing, because our time is running short, unfortunately, I'm also going to send an extra special shout out to you, Nan, because folks, to let you know, in addition to an amazing author, Nan is also an editor extraordinaire. And Nan did the line editing for my upcoming book, Panic in the Panhandle, my first Elmo Simpson mystery that's going to be out in September. And so, Nan, I just want to tell everybody here publicly how wonderful of a job you did. And sometime Sarah and I are going to have to put our heads together and figure out how we can, drag you back here and talk about editing, because that's, that I think that's something that, oh man, yeah, I'd be dead in the water without.
Well, your book was fabulous. It was a treat to edit. I had so much fun. I can't wait for the next one. I really hope I get it to edit, because Elmo is just a wonderful character. I loved him. I just loved him. So it's going to be fun to do the rest of that series if they let me, and I think they might. So
yeah, fingers crossed.
It was fun. I'd love to come back and talk editing. You bet.
I think people could learn a great deal about what goes into the process and the expectations and kind of what's out there for resources and kind of learning the ropes for people who are interested in getting into editing.
Yes.
So we'll definitely have to pencil that in when we come back for the new year, because gosh, December is here and oh man, time, the 2023 has concluded almost. So, but it's been a wonderful year. And of course, it's been wonderful having you here today, Nan. Thank you again for sharing your time with us. Your winner for today's giveaway is, drumroll please, everybody. Oh, look at that. Vicki Browning.
Hey, Vicki. All right.
Congratulations, Vicky. So not only you've gotten Christmas in River's Edge download to your Kindle, but if you can email us at giveaways@itsbookishtime.com, I will get your information over to Nan so that you can choose your Christmas ebook of your choosing, as well as receive your Amazon gift card. So congratulations.
I'm so glad that Vicky won. That's wonderful. I'm delighted. And it's been wonderful to be here with you too.
Well, as always, it's a pleasure to speak with you and to check in and see how everybody in River's Edge is doing. It feels, at this point, it's like, oh, it feels like we're going back and being welcomed by old friends. So it's always exciting to have that chat with you, Nan.
It is absolutely 100%.
So
Thanks.
again,
Here.
thank you for spending a moment with us, and to our wonderful viewers, thank you for being here with us live this afternoon. We're going to be back with another Bookish Moment this week. It is going to be on Thursday, and I believe it's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so a little bit earlier than we have been doing them in the past, but we hope that you can join us as we sign off from being bookish for 2023. So again, thank you, everybody, for your support. Enjoy the rest of your week. And until we see you again, stay bookish, everybody. Bye-bye.